Hi everybody. Okay, I'm back. Basically, I completely Mod Podged this napkin on to my canvas, as you can see. So then what I did was I took a Michaels frame, just one of their dollar frames, and it was purple. I took the back off of it. It's still a little wet, but I don't need it right this second. This back part that is on it, I completely tore that off, and then just gessoed the whole thing up. And I am going to have to probably do 2 coats of gesso because some of the purple is still showing through, which is fine. It's typical when you're doing mixed media. So I have my canvas here, and it is completely dry from the Mod Podge. So now what I want to do is I need to figure out what I'm going to do for a stencil. This is kind of going to be a two-parter. I don't know how this is all going to work. I'm going to just use this mini bricks. And like I said, these are by the Crafters Workshop. I get these at my local scrapbook store. And it's just a 6x6 template, and they were like $5. I know you can pick up a whole bunch of different stencils anywhere. You don't even need a stencil, to be honest with you. If you really wanted to, you can use burlap for awesome texture. If you want to use burlap on your project, you know, like down here, you could use this for some texture, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and use my stencil, but you can use burlap. All you have to do is lay it down and then put your modeling paste over top of it and then pull this up and it'll show your texture. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the brick, and I'm going to do a little bit down here in the corner, and then I might do a little bit up here, but I don't think so because I was thinking about putting my frame up here. So I think I'm just going to do it down here, but I don't know if I should do it at a diagonal. I think I'm going to go at like a diagonal. And this is really like slick. That's what Mod Podge does. So we're going to completely cover over that. So I'm going to take my gesso, sorry guys, I'm going to take my modeling paste, and I'm just going to grab a paintbrush. I know you can buy like the putty spatula things, but I don't have one, and I'm not going to go buy one. I can just use my paintbrush. So I'm just going to grab some modeling paste and just basically go over it like you are a stencil. Pretty easy. Put it on however thick you want. I don't go too terribly thick. It kind of just depends how much, you know, how thick you want it, like your dimension and stuff on it. So, just going to do that. I'm going to go back this way. It's pretty simple. I hope my finger's not in the way, but I'll just show you what it looks like here. I was going to do this off camera, but you know, I'm not going to go buy a spatula, so that way you guys can see how I do it. Just get a little bit more down here. And it does seem like you're wasting a lot. And this stuff's expensive, like I said in part 1. It is expensive. So you need to, you know, if you can use stucco, yeah, I mean, that's awesome. So there's that. And since I'm filming this video, and I like to wash my stencil off right away and my brush so it doesn't stick. I'm going to keep my brush damp so I don't ruin it. And I'm going to set my stencil on an empty box here so it doesn't get all over everything. I'm just going to wrap my brush. Kind of a tip that I do a lot when I'm painting and I have to let it dry before the next coat. So I'm just going to cover that up. Now I'm going to pull my stencil off, and you are going to see, of course, the brick. Okay? So there's the brick. Give it some dimension. Use your modeling paste. Super pretty. I love that. I love how that shows up. What I did off camera before was I started prepping everything else for my project. When this completely dries, I am going to go over the whole entire canvas with my gesso again. So everything will be re-gessoed over. And yeah, what I did off camera before was I took some Prima flowers and I basically put gesso on the top side of them to help cover up the dark pink color. I mean, you can still see it showing through, but it's not bright, and that's okay because I just wanted to cover them up. I did, probably 20 of them, and I also took those acrylic flowers and I did gesso the first coat of those on, which I will go back over and gesso them again because it takes a lot and I want to do both sides. I started a little bit of gesso on those acrylic gems, and like I said, I also did the same thing with my frame. So when this completely dries, then we're just going to go over this whole thing with gesso. Okay? I know it's not dry, so I'm going to stay away from it, but I wanted to kind of show you a little bit on how I do this. Also, real quick, if you wanted to add like more texture to your canvas, I did take out this piece of lace that I have just a small chunk of, and if you wanted, you could just lay it here to give it some more texture. So I mean, that's up to you too. You can use Mod Podge or whatever you want to do to adhere it down. I have used just regular gesso. That seems to kind of work well. Let me find a pair of scissors here. And I'll cut this off and I'll just show you. We'll just put it here on my project. And that way you guys can see, how I do that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. What am I at for time? 7? Okay, cool. So, I'm going to stay away from this. Let's just say it's dry. I'm just going to take my gesso and completely go over everything. Front, sides, you want that all to be covered. I'm not going to worry about the back part because you're not going to see that, because you're either going to hang it up or put it on a, like an easel or something. So I'm just going to gesso all this up. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you are going to spray over it, like I said before. That's what's fun about mixed media. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that's what's fun about it. When I did my first, mixed media, I was so nervous, you guys. It was just, I don't know, I was a nervous wreck. So then I did it, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to show it on my video because it's just, I didn't feel good about it. But I'm glad I did because I had a lot of amazing, wonderful comments. And it's all a learning experience, and that's what we're all here on YouTube for, is to get different ideas from how people do their mixed media. When I did my first mixed media, and I have a video on that, what I did was I completely gessoed my canvas. And then I just started gluing stuff on. And then after it was all glued and dried, then I went back over it with gesso. And trying to cover certain areas was really difficult. So I thought, you know what? I did make another mixed media canvas this weekend. Actually, I made 2. And I'm not going to show them right now because they are gifts. And I don't want to, I don't want the person to see it till after they receive it, then you'll see the video. But what I did on the last couple that I did is instead of gluing everything down first, what I did, like I did here, is I just each individually gessoed everything up. So, I don't know, I had a hard time covering it. So that's kind of my tip. If, you want to start out, you don't have to. That's just the fun of it. But I would just do it like I did it, because it seems like it's a lot easier for me and I get better coverage. So our whole entire canvas is gessoed up again, except for here at the brick because that's still wet and I don't want to mess it up. So now I'm just going to take my lace right here and lay it on top, and then just kind of push it down into the canvas. And you guys, it was pouring rain here, and it is literally sleeting again. I swear, this weather in April has just been absolutely crazy. So I guess you could use Mod Podge to put this down, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to use gesso. It's not really a glue, but it will adhere down because it did on all my other canvases. So then you'll just have a little bit more texture. And it covers up that pink that it was a color of, like a pink color lace. And if you want, you can add more up here or do whatever you want. That's the fun thing about mixed media. You guys go for it. You know, just do whatever you want. That's what's awesome about this. So now, when this is completely dry, I've been rambling for 11 minutes. Okay, when this is completely dry, and this, you know, I'll finish covering this up with gesso. When it's completely dry, I will come back and do the next tutorial, and we'll probably start gluing stuff on and then spraying everything. So I hope I made sense because I just kind of rambled everything, you know, just rambled. But yeah, any questions, please just private message me and I will be glad to help. I might have not made any sense. I sure hope I did. And I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.